Hello, Rowan Mithril here once again, getting back to the analysis portion of Silent Hill Origins. This time we'll be discussing the major characters in the story. A good portion of the main cast were originally, well, were seen previously in the future, prequels. Anyway, most of the cast is from Silent Hill 1. Travis is really the main newcomer here. First, though, let's talk the rest of the cast. First off, we have Dahlia and Kaufmann. These two, well, there's really not too much new that we find out about them from this glimpse of the past. Dahlia is still out of her gourd and out to bring about the birth of God through her own daughter, and Kaufmann is a rather snide and grumpy sort only out for his own interests. There is, however, one thing of note. In Origins, we see these two working a bit more hand in hand. There are notes from Dahlia to Kaufmann, and Kaufmann's even seen with the Order at the end working with them. Of course, from Silent Hill 1, we already do know that they are working together, Kaufmann helping to cover up the truth of Alessa's survival from the fire in the hopes of getting a taste of power from the birth of God. The interesting thing, though, is realizing how their relationship seems to have soured by the time of the events of Silent Hill 1. They don't seem to be working so well together anymore, which leaves one to wonder just what happened in the 7 years between the two games. Perhaps Kaufmann finally lost faith in Dahlia and the Order after all these setbacks they had. It's kinda hard to say. He certainly didn't seem to have any qualms with shooting her at the end of Silent Hill 1, though. Next, there's Alessa. With Alessa, we're seeing two sides of her, as is often the case. There's the burned victim, her real body, as well as her astral projection running around town. Alessa herself isn't really a bad person. She is truly just a victim in all this, being used against her will as a vessel to birth God. The true nature of the ritual is a matter of much debate. We'll cover that in the next video, but the end result is that she's been rendered unconscious by it all and left in a state of constant suffering and nightmares. It is interesting to note the seeming conflict of interests, though, between her conscious self and her astral projection. One led Travis to the burning house, while the other told him to just let her burn. This seems to feed into that one book in the Otherworld library that talks of split personalities, where one remains loyal to the abuser, desperately seeking approval. This would be her real self, still wanting to please her mother, thus going through with the ritual despite the pain and suffering. Yet deep down, she wants no part of it, which comes through as her astral projection, seeking out Travis to get her out of the fire, and further leading him to find what she needs him to find. The books also mentioned the concept of mental conditioning piggybacking on an already compromised mind, and in that we have our trucker buddy Travis. Alessa may, in some fashion, see some form of camaraderie with Travis, given they were both severely abused by their mothers. Make no mistake, though, Alessa is definitely using him as a pawn. Travis's own mental issues, his need to block things in his mind, gave Alessa a perfect conduit for her powers, and his memories of his mother's ramblings about an other world on the other side of the mirror gave her further tools. Using mirrors, she's able to use her influence to bring him into her world. It's notable that the only times we see Alessa's projection in the real world, or at least the fog world, is while Alessa is still conscious in the burning house, and after the flower house has been reassembled, thus boosting her power. Dahlia didn't want the thing rebuilt for a reason, it would seem. By bringing Travis into the world of her nightmares, she's able to lead him to find the things she needs him to find, her projection being that part of her mind that really wants no part of the ritual and wants to stop it. Travis basically is a means to an end for her. Travis himself, he obviously has his own issues. Having lost both his parents in Silent Hill as a young boy, the town is more important to him than he remembers. The events were so traumatic, he set up sort of a mental defense of forgetfulness, blocking the events from his mind. As referenced during the monster analysis, Travis himself may also suffer from a split personality, his other half being the serial killer known as the Butcher. The canon nature of this, however, well, who can really say? Regardless of this, Travis definitely has some major mental issues that leave him nice and open to mental suggestion and manipulation. At heart, he's a good guy, though, given his first reaction to seeing a burning building is to charge in head first and save a stranger, and then he even stays in town just to find out what happened to her. He is, however, the rare specimen of Silent Hill protagonist that is known to still be alive and well, however. Harry is doomed by canon, James, Heather, Henry, and later protagonists that we have yet to meet on my channel, they've only appeared in one game each, so their future is left up to interpretation. Travis, however, appears in a later game, alive and well, and survives the appearance. That leaves perhaps the most controversial character appearance in Origins, and that would be Lisa. Lisa's character in Origins is the source of a lot of hatred toward this game, which is rather interesting when you consider things. In a way, fans of the series are kinda seeing things through Alessa's eyes. The problem is that Lisa in Origins and Lisa in Silent Hill 1 are very different characters. The thing a lot of people tend to forget, though, is that they are literally different characters. By the time Silent Hill 1 starts, the real Lisa Garland is dead and gone, likely at the hands of Kaufmann. The Lisa encountered in Silent Hill 1 is but a creation of Alessa. As the rare person to ever show her any form of kindness, Alessa built Lisa up in her mind into someone she may not have really been. Lisa isn't necessarily a bad person, but like anyone, she does have her flaws. All Alessa saw were the good points in her, and that's what her recreation of Lisa in the other world reflects, a selfless, altruistic person who lives only to help. However, her diary, found within Nowhere, points to the real Lisa having had troubles of her own, namely an addiction to the local drug White Claudia. She was so addicted to it she couldn't do without it. She was thus essentially trapped, as Kaufmann, her supplier, would only give her the drug if she did what they told her to do, which mostly concerned looking in on Alessa and taking care of her. There's also the videotape that, once you can view it in its entirety, ends with Lisa saying, "I promise I won't tell a soul." This could be interpreted as her trying to protect Alessa, perhaps her saying that so that they wouldn't put someone less caring there to watch her instead. However, it is just as plausible that she could be trying to save herself. Perhaps the strain of watching Alessa grew to be too much. Perhaps she was afraid her drug supply would run out. Either way, it sounds like Kaufmann, or some member of the Order, threatened her, and she just wanted out, promising silence. There's also the matter of her mood swings. Travis encounters her exhibiting quite a few different moods. Neutral, angry, happy. She's kinda all over the place. This, too, I would attribute to her drug addictions, and just catching her in different phases of it. It's also not unprecedented. In the intro to Silent Hill 1, we have glimpses of goings-on in the town before Harry gets there, seemingly the last moments of quote-unquote normalcy in the town. As normal as it gets. In these scenes, we see perhaps the last moments of the real Lisa. First, she's seen storming angrily out of the hospital, but Kaufmann stops her, grabbing onto her wrist. Things clip away for a few moments, and the next time we see them, Lisa's laughing as though she had never been upset in the slightest. It's a very sudden mood shift, possibly Kaufmann administering drugs to get her back in line, but there's no indication of exactly what happened to her after that. The next time we see her is when we meet her in the other world, and she's no longer the real Lisa. This sort of thing is the real trouble Origins faces, as it messes with theories and beliefs that a lot of people had in a series that provides more questions than solid answers. And that's what we'll be going into next time as we take a look at some of the major theories surrounding the game's events. For now, though, that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.